and you are watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Dead Comedy.
Hey there, people. It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're going to keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie. Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're going to keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie. Hey, how do you say there?
Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus, and... Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus, and... Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you know...
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag, it gets through Buckner, here comes Knockem.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson.
Telling all your friends the party never ends. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show. Telling all your friends the party never ends. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show.
Hi, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Welcome, everybody, to the Knockem Day Comedy Show right here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcasts, where it's going to be a good day, let me tell you. Don't mind me. I'm just doing all sorts of last-minute tech stuff. I haven't been here since Thursday, so I'm a little unorganized this morning. Don't mind me, but I am very excited. We have one of my personal favorite guests. You know, in my 5 years of being here, I got the wrong mic on you. There you go. In my over 5 years of being here, there's certain people that you make friends with, and it makes all this garbage worth it. And this is one of them right here. Will Scharen is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Will Scharen.
With friends like us, who needs enemas, right?
Exactly. How are you, pal?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, anytime. And I'll just throw it right out there, right off the bat. Next Monday, Will will be here again. Why? Why not? But I did warn Will when he got here. I did let him know that Chef Felix will be here next Monday as well. So I don't know if Will's going to change his mind or not. But
Was he bringing food?
I don't know if he's bringing him food. He had a wild COVID thing. He was down and out for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I believe he's like even now he brought the show back, but he's not. He's doing it from his home. So I don't know. I don't know how well he's going to be when he walks in here. So Mark Slavin says, "What up, Will?"
Oh, Mark Slavin, a buddy of mine from high school. I haven't
Very
seen.
nice.
I have not seen since 1995.
Oh my goodness.
He is a good dude, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you haven't seen him in almost 30 years. It seems to me like he's stalking you.
No, we reconnected. Mark, you're not stalking me. He was a good dude. He was like what I remember in high school. He was like this incredible wrestler on our high school wrestling team, and now I think he's got him and his wife. They have four boys.
Well, that's a lot of wrestling right there.
I think
To make them, and now the four of them will be wrestling too. So
yeah, I don't know if he's got. Maybe they're on to 5. It seems like every time he updates a picture, I don't know if it's an old picture of one of them as babies,
or he's just popping more out. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
Well, good for him.
Yeah, we were in homeroom I think once or twice. Back in
Slavin
high school.
Sharon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, he said I am, so I don't know if that means he's popping more out or if he's just wrestling a lot. I don't know. I'm not really
I
sure.
don't know.
But thanks for joining us. Very excited to have Will here. I'm also very excited. I'm going to be showing you guys in a little bit my interview with Mookie Wilson, which I'm very excited about. I'm like a kid at Christmas. You're a Met fan. Who's your favorite all-time Met?
Gotta go with number 17, the stash, Keith Hernandez.
Nice.
There's there's a lot of Mets that I love.
Me too.
But Keith Hernandez has got to be number 1.
It's a sin that man is not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's a crime.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day was the anniversary of the big 12 innings against the Reds, where another one of my favorites, Roger McDowell.
Yeah.
I love Roger McDowell too. McDowell and Orozco kept getting
Right field.
rotated. Yeah. And
that was the big fight, right? Knight and Davis.
Yeah. Eric
great
Davis
fight.
David, he tries to steal third.
Right.
There's the tag, and they're both like not trying to give up their footing on third base. And Ray Knight did not have a Gold Glove in fielding, but he did for his right hook.
Yeah.
And it'll end. In fairness to Knight, he held back on that punch too. He held his punch.
Yeah.
Although he swung at him, it was more like trying to swat at a fly than it was like he would have knocked him out. And I mean, Eric Davis was not a pushover. Eric Davis was the Reds' answer to Strawberry, and they were
absolutely.
buddies. They grew up together. So, I mean, that was going to be a legit brawl. But then Knight's gone later in that game. And it's one of the weirdest double plays because the pitcher that's coming up is a lefty.
Yep.
Bunts. Keith is playing like 5 feet away. Throws it to Gary Carter, who's at third base.
First time ever playing third.
Right. Who then throws it to first. Timmy Tuffle is playing second base, and Hojo's playing short. And Tuffle catches it first. And they said it was the first, what was it, like it was like a 3-5-2?
3-5-4.
3-5-6. Second
base.
Yeah, second.
4. Right.
It was like I think it wasn't may have been the first 3-5-4 double play the Mets ever did.
Wow. And Tuffle doesn't get enough credit for that play because if you're watching, I mean, he is doing a complete split, like a ballerina to catch that ball in time.
Yeah.
Which I mean, everybody talks about Hernandez. Which not to take away from Hernandez, I love the clips of him talking about that play. 'Cause that's what I loved about Hernandez. I don't think I've ever seen a smarter ball player.
Right.
And the clips of him talking about that play where he says this guy was he was just called up from the minors, new pitcher. He said, I just knew he was going to bunt.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, he was practically next to the pitcher.
Right.
I mean, he was right there.
Right.
And
but there's nobody.
Just a great play.
There's nobody that I was gonna say there's nobody that could quarterback a defense in baseball like Hernandez.
Right.
But given credit where credit's due, when I was a kid, I was fortunate to grow up during an awesome time where the two best first basemen in baseball were Hernandez and Mattingly.
Right.
So I watched a lot of Yankee games as a kid. My grandma and my great uncle lived with us, and I remember, the Yankees were always on Channel 11.
Right.
And Mattingly was just amazing. It was a great time to be a New York baseball fan. But yeah, Keith, I would say Keith is number one. After that, I love Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden. A lot of guys from '86, but Pete Alonso is incredible. I love Jacob deGrom.
That flat-leaving son of a
David Wright.
bitch. David Wright.
But what though? But I feel like I remember there being a thing where he supposedly had contacted Showalter and was like, when everything clears away one time, we're going to sit down and have dinner and I'll tell you, like, my decision. I think there's a lot more that they don't talk about. Yeah. Who knows? It could be political. It could be family. It could be... I think there was a lot more going on.
That's interesting.
That he wouldn't say. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he knew that it's better to leave the villain than stay, be a villain while you know.
Yeah.
Look at Scherzer. I mean, a surprise Scherzer got traded the day after. He said, "Well, we're gonna have to talk to the front office, and you just traded away our closer." Who knows? He may have been like, "Yeah, I want out."
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. And I still think DeGrom is going to end up back. He's going to in 2 years. In 2 years, the Rangers are going to have enough. They're going to release him, and DeGrom's going to be just so beat up, and he's just going to come back for one final year in New York.
Like Tom Seaver in '83.
Exactly.
Just comes back.
Because that's what the Mets do. They even brought Bonilla back at one point.
Yeah.
They bring everybody back.
Big Sexy's coming back in September.
Right.
But
he's not. They're just having a retirement ceremony. He's not playing, right?
No.
That would be cool if he did.
I mean, they're really trying to squeeze fans into the seats if that's the case. If they're signing him to a one-day deal.
Oh, just the ceremony in itself. It's what, 5 years after he stopped playing?
Yeah.
Just that alone is they're trying to get people in, which I can't say I blame them. But.
No, I can't either. But I wonder though. I forget if you're allowed to. If I would say he's going to go into the Hall of Fame, right? Kind of.
I would. He's got the numbers,
right? I don't think it's 50. It'd be like 70-30. I think his chances of getting in the Hall.
Okay, all right.
But I forget if you are allowed to pick what team, or if the Hall determines.
The Hall now determines. It used to be the player used to be able to pick. Now I believe, unless they change it again.
Because from what I remember, Gary Carter wanted to go in where his hat was half Mets, half Expos.
Right, and they shot it down.
Yeah, like Keith, I would think. I mean, nothing against the Mets, but I think Keith already was established as a Cardinal.
Well, yeah, I mean he.
But most of his Gold Gloves are his Mets.
He won the batting title though. With the tied right for the batting title with Stargell when he was with St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually had dinner with him once too.
So I've heard that he is one of the worst people to try to talk to unless you talk about baseball. That's exactly.
Yeah. That's it. When I had dinner with Keith Hernandez, we had bought, some buddies and me. We bought tickets. This was 1999. The Mets made the. Bosie's watching. Oh, Bosie, I got a story about you that I didn't tell you when I saw you yesterday. So I'll get to that soon.
I saw the back of Bosie's head.
Well, a lot of guys do on Saturday nights.
Well, I believe it was Saturday night, but I was not there. There's a picture of Keegan at FinFest, and right up in the front, it looks like the back of Bosie's head.
Saturday night FinFest.
No, Long Beach. There was the Long Beach.
I think he did go down there. I think he told me he did go there.
Jeff, let me know. Confirm or deny if that was the back of your head.
I do believe he ended up
sitting
here.
in the front row.
So we bought tickets to the Mets in the they made the wild card in 1999. Mm-hmm. So they were in the first round of the playoffs, and we bought tickets from a ticket broker.
Okay.
It was they were $50 seats, but we bought them for $100. And we were told we got to meet the guy at Mickey Mantle's restaurant in the city to get the tickets. We're like, all right. We had no idea until we got there. So not only did we get these tickets for the game, but that price. So for $100, we got the playoff game and dinner with Hernandez before the game. We had no idea until we got there.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit. So we sit down. I mean, he was great, talking baseball the whole time. That's all he wanted to talk about. But then also, the second he was drinking Heineken's all night. But the second he finished one, like you're in the middle of a sentence, and he's just like this. I mean, he couldn't. Like people were trying to talk to him. He was just, and like almost to the point he was almost in a panic. Like he just couldn't. And then they brought the Heineken, the next one, and then he would just pick up the conversation. I was like, I felt,
Jeez.
yeah, that was a little messed up. But he was a nice guy. We took all sorts of pictures and talking baseball. And I remember we were sitting there trying to convince him to manage. Because I think he'd be a great manager,
Yeah.
but he said no, he wouldn't even touch it. But this weekend, so it was really weird. So I've been telling you guys that we're going to get Mookie on the show. I have a connection. Supposedly it was going to happen in June. It didn't happen. I was told at the time he's going to do it in July. I was like, all right. I was at the point. I'm like, all right. Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
So. Will and I were talking about it before we went on the air. We saw this ad. Will said he saw it too. I saw it. There was an ad where at a restaurant here in Farmingdale that if you pay almost $200, you could sit with Mookie at this restaurant and watch the Met game that night. Like you could just hang out with him basically. You pay this money. So I reached out to my buddy who's my connection to Mookie, and I was like, and I was bad mouthing this event. I'm like, you believe paying $200 for this? What the hell's wrong with people? And he texts me back. He goes, dude. He goes, that's me. I'm running that. I'm like, oh no, oh man. See, and that's the beauty of having a prosthetic leg. You can put your foot in your mouth. So, and I left it alone. I felt like an idiot. It was like not even an hour later. He writes to me. He goes, come that night as my guest. I'm like, so of course. I want to say yes because it's Mookie Wilson, my all-time favorite baseball player. Yeah, like I like a kid meeting Santa Claus, meeting Mookie Wilson, and I when I was 21 years old, I met Spanky from Little Rascals. Those two, those are like meeting Santa Claus to me. Like these guys are like. So so this was a big deal to actually sit with them at dinner, but. As you guys know, we've been pushing, Comic Sans like crazy. It was playing the Long Beach Film Festival last week. It played last Wednesday at the festival, but we were told that it might play again Saturday night. So Don Sill and I were like, well, if they're going to play it again, we got to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would love to sit with Mookie and do all that, but, this film is way more important. I made the commitment. So I didn't even answer my buddy. I'm like, I didn't even answer him. Actually, I think.
Also, how many original questions has he not heard yet about Bill Buckner?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that was part of it too. Like, what would I say? So I don't know. I was just, it just didn't feel right.
But it's not like meeting Andy Chavez. Like,
Right.
bro, you had one catch. Mookie's much more than
Right.
slow dribbler down the line behind the bag.
Yeah. Here comes night and the Mets win it. And being such a fan of Mookie Wilson's playing career, I definitely had other things to talk about.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel right. I had other commitments. So I didn't. So the only response I gave my buddy was, dude, I'm not going to go for free for sexual favors. Just joking with him. He's like, no, please come.
I'll pay you for the favors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So then I was like, all right, well, if I'm making money like I usually do, then.
Girls got to eat.
Exactly. So but then two things. One, we found out that our movie was not going to play Saturday night. So then I'm like, oh, so maybe I'll go to Mookie instead. But still not sure and still wanted to support the festival because they were good to us. But then Saturday night, if you guys remember, we had crazy rain.
Yeah.
And everybody knew the rain was coming. So the festival postponed that night, and they said, we're going to do it Sunday night. I'm like, oh.
Now, do they play the movie outside, or is it?
Well, on that night only, they were doing it in various places. So Wednesday night when the festival started, it was at the Lynbrook Theater.
Okay.
Naturally, because you think Long Beach, you go to Lynbrook. So the next day was at the Allegra Hotel. The day after that, I think, was at one of the libraries. Then to end it Saturday night, they set up a big movie screen on the beach, and you just watch. They were going to show a bunch of short films.
But every place is like, say, Wednesday night, everyone goes to one theater to watch several movies?
Well, that night was only 2 movies, but yes.
Okay.
It was all just in one location each day.
So each day, Comic Sans was playing at a different location?
No, it was only playing that one night,
Oh,
the
okay.
first night.
Okay.
But that's the thing. They said that night on the beach, they were possibly going to play it again. So we were like, oh, we got to go to that.
I'm a good listener.
You want me to go slower?
Yeah.
Come back here, you rabbit. No? Bugs Bunny? No?
Yeah, of course I got it.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
So,
My little bunny. I'm always interested in interesting people. I know what you're talking about.
I knew it. So, between the movie not being played and the rain, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Now I can go to the restaurant and hang out with Mookie.
Yeah.
So we go there. Yeah, I got it to sit at the same table with him. And it was funny because the Mets, of course, were on rain delay because of the storm.
Right.
So they put on this year's Mets Hall of Fame induction during the rain delay. And Mookie was there for that. So before they, when they're starting the ceremony, they're introducing all the people that are there.
Uh-huh.
So they get to Mookie, and there's this big close-up of him. He's sitting there talking. He's not even paying attention, but I interrupt him. I go, look at the TV. Look at that guy. He looks up, and he sees himself. And he goes, oh, who is that good-looking fella? And I go, good-looking fella, maybe. I said, but probably embarrassed to be wearing that stupid blue jacket. and he looks, he goes, yeah, a little bit. Should I take this? All right, let me.
Why not?
Yeah, all right. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
How you doing today, mister?
I'm doing all right. You sound like you're in a bathroom.
No, I'm not in the bathroom. No, I'm not.
Where are you?
This is the hospital.
This is this is a hospital calling?
Yeah, that's right. This is from DJ the hospital. I don't know where he went to.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and I just heard a female voice say, "Oh my God!" I'm getting a little aroused.
Hello.
Hello.
Guess who it is?
Is it Michelle?
It sure is.
What's up, baby? What are you doing?
How you doing?
Why aren't you here with me instead of hanging out with that DJ guy?
You know where I'd rather be.
Yeah, right on my lap.
Exactly. I got these pants on. You have no idea how many holes they got in them. Jesus.
You got it.
And she's Jesus?
Yeah, that was the part I just got confused about. Did you just say you're wearing jeans with holes in them and you're Jesus?
I'm not Jesus. Don't you remember when we first met? I had the jeans with all the holes in them.
How can I forget?
See? And these ones are even crazier.
Well, drop DJ off and get on over here. I'll be waiting.
I'll be there
Nice.
as soon as I can.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, yeah.
How you guys doing?
We're doing all right. What are you guys doing today?
We just went to
reptile store.
We just went to the reptile store.
Oh, you bought a reptile?
No. Dennis likes to hold the snake.
DJ, you mean?
DJ D-Mob likes to hold the snake. His snake.
I know. Yeah, he likes to hold Dorian's snake.
Yes, he does.
That's right. And Michelle will be taking care of my snake when she gets it.
Good God, where's your wife?
Not here. Will, I'm here with Will.
Oh, well,
my buddy Will is here today.
Well, hello, Will. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm staying away from his snake. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Well, guess what, Tony? Tomorrow's my husband's birthday tomorrow.
Tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow is my husband's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow is Dorian's birthday? Oh, very nice. Did you get him a gift?
Yeah.
You better.
Maybe, yes, I did. I got him a nice, beautiful, brand new TV.
A Drano TV?
That's what I heard. Did you say a Drano TV?
No, it's brand new TV, I said.
Oh, brand new.
You bought him a brand new TV?
Well, it's brand new to him.
Very. How much? Did you spend a lot of money?
No, I've been having this TV for a long time.
Oh.
But it's still pregnant, though.
Oh, all right.
He's going to love it.
You say it's still pregnant, though?
Yes.
I can't hear.
So, and you're gonna, you're gonna give him the TV and a lot of birthday loving, right?
Woo-woo!
Yes.
He just bought a 13-foot trouser snake at the reptile store, so and he ain't feeding it mice. We know that.
Very nice.
There you go.
All right, so enjoy. So, Michelle, what time do you get off?
Birthday or what?
What's that?
Am I bringing this guy down for his birthday or what?
I don't know if I'll be here that week. Actually, that whole week I might not be here, but we'll figure out another day.
Yeah, we'll have to set something up. I'm not really his worker anymore. I'm just filling in today because
What?
I miss him so much.
I'm sure you do. And what time you working till?
Hopefully not too much longer.
I know because I got
think
it
so.
till what? Till 3?
I think so.
Oh, all right. Well, you guys stay out of trouble, and Michelle, I'm looking forward to seeing you in those ripped jeans.
Oh, you got it. I'll be with him this week, I think, so we'll call you.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Oh, wait a
take care.
minute, wait a minute.
Oh, geez.
I like to say a big thank you to Good Radio, Comedy Club Radio,
No.
and also my buddy Chef Felix, all the things he does.
Chef Felix, yep, he'll be on tomorrow, and then he's coming on my show next Monday. He'll be here with me.
More importantly, DJ Love, you gotta give us a freestyle rap because every time I've been here, you call in and you rap about Mustangs crashing into trees and DJ. I want to hear. Give us a quick rap, buddy.
Do it.
I'm gonna do it right now. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yo, here we go. My name's DJ's over the place to be. I was in the hospital. Guess what, though? I'm back home. I don't give a fuck, man, because my name is DJ's over the place to be. We tell you some, homies. I just want to be your friends, and that's what I got to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I got to say. I was in the hospital. Guess what, though? I'm back home. Guess what? I'm doing fine. I don't give a frick what nobody says. Because my name's DJ's over the place to be. Yeah.
All right. Wait a minute. This is
Legit.
I don't know if I'm going to regret this or what. But were you in the hospital?
Yes, I was.
He was in the emergency room.
What happened?
He's following up. He's
Well, okay, I can say this. I had one more.
HIPAA. Beastie Boys. They checked his
He has
head.
to. He has to take care of his health better. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right.
Preach,
Well,
sister, preach.
That's right. Tell him. All right. Well, we hope he's okay.
Yes. He's following up with the doctors. He's going to take care of himself now.
Michelle, will you give me a physical to make sure I'm okay?
You got it, baby. As long as you'll bend over and not complain. Bend over and cough.
All right.
Hey, so how's Sally doing, Tony?
I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
That's great.
I need to get my wife a pair of Jesus jeans
With holes in them.
riddled with bullet holes. And
Yes, exactly.
Very nice.
So how's Sally,
What was that?
how's Sally doing?
Sally's doing great. Last I heard, yes, she's doing fine.
Well, tell her hello.
I will tell her that. Absolutely. All right, you guys, DJ, you take better care of yourself, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah,
what?
talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
I gotta say something before I leave.
Yep.
DJ,
I gotta say something before I leave.
Later, sucker.
See you later, homies.
Homies, suckers, all of it. There you go. All right, there you go. DJ D-Love. Oh, my goodness. I actually did see Sally yesterday, and she says hi to everybody. All right. So, wow.
a lot to digest.
Yeah, there was a lot there. DJ's in the hospital. Michelle, I think, wants
Because
to...
I have... No.
DJ suffering from the... Stefan is watching. Hello, Stefan.
A standard snake removal surgery.
Snake bit him in his snake.
Yeah.
I think the D in his name stands for Dick. DJ Dick Love. And maybe it is.
I mean...
It fits.
In the words of Kingpin, he might be punctilious in assuming that. By the way, Mookie Wilson.
Yes. Speaking of snakes.
So, you remember Preston Wilson?
Yeah.
He's the reason we got Mike Piazza.
That's right.
Preston Wilson is stepson and nephew to Mookie.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it.
A great player in his own right, Preston was.
Yeah.
He had some great years down in Florida.
He was going to be a good prospect for the Mets.
Yes.
But listen, we got Mikey P in the place to be. I go to the Hall of Fame University. Oh, Christ.
No, that was...
He's getting surgery? Now they're removing the mice?
You are live on the air, sir.
Hey, it's Stefan. How you doing, man?
Stefan Schuetti, how are you, pal?
Pretty good. Thought I would call and catch up with you live on the air. That's the best time to do it. Hey, how's things in Long Island?
Long Island is crazy as ever. We have bad air quality. We have bad sports teams.
Yep.
But we have great comedy clubs.
They're trying it all in a small town.
That's right.
Is the air quality still an issue? Remember that was a thing from Toronto, from all the fires in Toronto, right?
Yeah, but we've had a few days, here and there of that, and then mixed with the heat. Yeah, they're still telling us that the air. I think it was just this past Friday they were advising that we stay in.
All of last week it was like Def Leppard, hot, sticky, sweet from my head to my feet.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy. No air quality. That's crazy, man. Well, I miss Long Island. My friend from North Carolina just went up to Freeport last week. He loves Long Island.
Yeah.
And whenever I go, it's always a special place in my heart. I'm going to be there in October. I'll come by. Say hi.
Oh, absolutely. Nice. We would love to see you. Yeah, come. You know what? Come in here and sit with us. It'll be fun.
Come in October. We'll discuss the weather.
We'll see if the air quality is still bad by the time I get there. I got to clear that stuff up.
Yes, please come take care of that for us. How's things out? You're still in L.A.?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm calling you from Hollywood, California right now.
Nice. Oh, that's right. So are you hanging out with Christopher Nolan or no?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. Well, I did just come from the grocery store that I see him at a lot, oddly enough.
And did you see him there today?
No, I didn't. But I see every now and then. Not as big as Steve Gutenberg, but I'll see people.
Steve Gutenberg?
I see Steve Gutenberg around here sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's from Massapequa. Yeah, Massapequa, yeah.
The Planners Library, they have Gutenberg Path.
That's right. Yes, they do.
I do comedy at a place that I learned the guy who owns it is the son of Patrick Duffy.
Patrick Duffy?
And I learned that because after the show, I was hanging at the bar, Patrick Duffy came up to me, said a joke, and had me take a picture of him and his family. And then after a second, I'm like, hey, aren't you the dad? Aren't you Patrick Duffy? He's like, yeah, and he was the sweetest guy.
Really?
And we took a picture, and it was lovely.
You were like, any comedic advice? He was like, step by step.
Oh,
100%. Or who shot Patrick Duffy, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Some people might remember it more from Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me backtrack a little bit.
It's the Victoria principle of the thing.
Well, we'd like to get her in here. So backtrack. You're doing comedy, like stand-up, or are you still doing the improv, or both?
Improv, baby. Improv.
Where are you doing improv?
I'm not just hip to stand-up. I just signed with my, I think, 5th murder mystery company, so I'm doing murder mysteries again.
Nice.
It's a new company that just opened up a branch out here in Hollywood, so I'm back to that. I just bought a detective's coat on Poshmark to be extra official.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Are you still doing murder mysteries? Of course, right?
What was that?
You still doing murder mysteries?
I am still doing the murder mysteries. It's been over 20 years now since I started doing them, in my own company. So
still haven't solved them?
No, we're working hard trying to figure them out. I'm not a very good detective, apparently. It's taken all these years. Yeah. Just did a show last night in Jersey. I'm all tired. I didn't get home till 1 a.m., but we're still doing them. So, you make sure this company you're with, make sure they stay out there. I don't want to have an East Coast, West Coast turf war thing going on.
Well, there might be a little bit of a Biggie Tupac situation. We'll see.
Well,
when we go to the Murder Mystery Awards, we'll see if we drop some threats at each other.
Exactly. But you
guys,
that
big van, you drive everybody in?
No, I don't have that van anymore. No.
I love that van.
I love that van too. It came to my attention after I got rid of it that some people were calling it a rape machine, but I preferred to call.
That.
Did you? I preferred to call it the love machine.
You said last week. Well, that's a terrible nickname for a car.
Yes, absolutely.
You get thrown out of one Chuck E. Cheese, people start talking.
Yeah, 100%.
In fairness, Tony.
No, it was. I do miss that van. It was fun because we used to pile everybody in. We used to drive together to the shows. In fact, Stefan was with us. I remember we had 2 shows in Jersey, which was a rare thing. But we went and did an afternoon show, and everybody was piled in the van with me, and we had cranked the tunes, had some laughs, did the show, had a great show. Jumped back in the van, went to the next show, had another great night. Like, to me, that's all a part of it. Not just the show; it's the whole experience.
Yeah.
So we had a great time that day. And Stefan might say he doesn't remember that at all. I don't know.
No, I'm trying. I remember a long trip to Jersey. I don't remember it being 2 in a day.
Yeah,
but that is really cool. No, those were good times. I had a really great time doing that.
Absolutely, and we miss you, man. So if you are in the area in October, please come in. We'd love to see you.
I will shoot you a message before I come out. I'm there for a week in October. So I'm going to see everybody and go back to Long Island, get some good Italian food. Maybe bring some sauces for your food challenge. Challenge you a little bit. I'll bring some stuff from the West Coast. How about that? I'll bring some, I'm trying to think what's good. The sushi's great out here. Sushi guy?
No.
Yeah, it won't spoil by the time you get to.
Yeah, that's true. By the time he brings it here from L.A., I'm sure it'll
bring some cuttlefish.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll all be great. Yeah.
Buttermilk.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge. It's part of the challenge. See if you can keep it in, right? See if you can keep it in. There might be a worm at that point, but you need friends. So
there was a story years ago on Saturday Night Live that they used to have an open tab for ordering food, like ordering takeout.
Yeah.
And Rob Schneider used to order like 6 orders of sushi because he knew that anywhere in New York City, statistically, like 70% of it had worms in it. And they said that he would order like, say, 6 or 7 orders of sushi, hold it up to like a jeweler's magnifying glass, and there would be enough in that order where he could have 1 order of sushi.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
That's great. But also sounds like he's taking advantage of the open tab or whatever. So,
how dare he?
That's pretty crazy. It makes me.
What's that or worms?
I literally have sushi in my fridge right now. It's been 2 days. I'm debating whether or not to eat it today or not.
Get a magnifying glass.
There you go.
I should. It's a good tip.
Or they'll be solving your own murder mystery. It was the worm.
Yeah, quick mystery. It's like guy ate bad sushi. He's dead.
It was sushi in the parlor.
There you go. All right, Paul. Well, thanks for calling in. It was good to hear your voice, man.
You too. Have fun, you too. And like I said, October, I'll take you up. I'll come by.
Absolutely. Would love that.
See ya. Bye-bye.
All right. See you, Stefan. That's Stefan Schwete checking in. He's been watching lately. He's an old friend of mine that used to do the murder mysteries with us until he moved away and left us. That son of a bitch. We definitely. I should have told him while he was on the line. I remember that we did the 2 shows together in that one day because Shevlin was there too.
Yeah.
And and Stefan, we were doing one of our shows is a redneck wedding, and Stefan was playing like the host of the redneck wedding. So he starts the show, and it was the first time he was playing this role because he had played some various roles with us. But it's something we still talk about to this day because you go out there, if you're hosting the show, you got to get energy going. You're hosting kind of
right.
And now Stefan, he's a big guy and he's got a big beard. He's like he's a sweetheart of a guy, but his look is a little
intimidating.
Can be off-putting. So he comes out, and you want to just like hosting a comedy show. You might come out, hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Hey, all right, get the energy going. He comes out. I'll never forget it. Me and Sylvan backstage, we just looked at each other, and we still talk about it to this day. He goes out there, and he's got his mic, and he goes, "Rawr!" like that. We still talk about it. I mean, this has got to be 10 years ago. Yeah. We still talk about it. That's all we hear from backstage. Rawr! Sasquatch is out there.
Yeah, really. Jeez.
But it was a great show. It was really a great show. Pat Farmer from David Letterman. Do you remember? Remember Letterman had the 2 stagehands? They used to read.
There's Biff.
Well, there was Biff.
Yeah.
But then there was these 2 other guys. They used to read transcripts from past Oprah shows, and they would just kind of read it deadpan. I love you. You're an inspiration. And like one guy would read Oprah, and the other guy would read the guest.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I remember Biff. Larry Bud Melman.
Right. Yeah.
And
Paul.
Paul. But the I think he was the announcer. It wasn't Don Pardo.
Alan Coulter.
Yeah?
Yeah, Alan Coulter. Yeah. But yeah, these guys were stagehands of some sort, and they used to do this bit. But and one of them was there at the show. That's another reason why I remember it. And he loved it. He loved it, and he even invited us to come to the show. And he said, we'll give you a tour of the whole works.
That's cool.
And then, like, 2 months later, he ended up getting sick. He was off the show for, like, a year or so, and then he was only back for, I think, like a year, and then they stopped. So we never got to go.
Jeez.
Andy Flagenos, last week only had one arm. What? It's a worst nickname for a person. Forget Van. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Last week only had one arm. I don't know what that means. Sorry, Andy.
I get it. Yeah, no. Because I said last week was like Def Leppard.
Oh. That was funny, by the way.
Nice.
The hot, sweet, and sticky. That was really funny. So
you're talking about Mookie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my buddy... Oh, yeah, so I didn't go to the festival because it was rained out and all that stuff, so I'm like, oh, this is perfect, I can go. So we went and had dinner. Oh, yeah, so we joked around about Mookie being on the TV screen. Oh, so then my buddy, who was running this event, he then gave me a personalized autographed picture. He gave me an autographed baseball and another signed framed picture of Mookie. And he went to Mookie and said, hey, this is the guy that's been wanting to do the interview with you. And they worked it out that I would just go the next day, yesterday morning, to go sit and have this interview. I'm like, holy shit. And so this is all, going there Saturday was last minute. Now I'm being told I can do the interview Sunday morning, but I had to go to their office. So I'm scrambling. Like, I don't have, I can't just grab these cameras and this and, show up with it.
Right.
So, and this is all Saturday night, late Saturday night. So I'm like, plus we had a murder mystery in New Jersey yesterday. 2-hour drive without traffic. So we were leaving at like 2 o'clock just to get out to Jersey in time. So I'm like, holy shit, how am I going to make this work? I got a hold of Don Sill. He's got equipment, so he came with me and he got to ask some questions too for his show. So thankfully it all worked out, and we got it. We were done by noon, so that gave me time to go do what I got to do. But man, he was just the nicest guy.
Yeah,
he was great. But the Bosey story I have, because it's in relation to Mookie.
He also got hit in the face in a rundown.
Yes,
Bosey?
from balls
by Gary Carter.
I'm at this event Saturday night having dinner, and my friend was talking to Mookie about doing the podcast, and he said somewhere in the conversation, he said, "Yeah, it's a podcast that runs out of Governor's Comedy Club. It's one of the biggest comedy clubs in the whole country." Yeah. So this woman comes walking up to me and she goes, "Did I hear them say you the Governor's podcast?" I go, "Yeah, I run the studio over there." She goes, "I knew you looked familiar." I go, "You know me?" She goes, "Well, I watch Hershey and the Keys all the time." I'm like, "Oh." No, I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." But then she goes, "Yeah, I knew you looked familiar." She goes, "You're the guy that wears the fedora."
Yeah, you look just like Jeff.
Yeah, I was like, and I just said, I think she even read my bio. I was like,
fedora.
And I was like, no, I said, that's not me.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, that's not you?" I go, "No," I said, "That's Jeff Bosey. He wears a fedora." I go, "But I'm the guy running the controls." And then I just got "Oh, yeah. Like, she had no idea. Yeah. But it turns out she's friends with Hirschman, so we took pictures. But I never in a million years thought I'd get mistaken for Bosey. It's a weird feeling, I must admit.
You look a lot more like Mario Bosco than Jeff Bosey.
Is that? Now I feel even worse.
Well, it wasn't a compliment. Yeah, I got a tuxedo on.
I'm not wearing a fucking fedora, you Mama Luke.
Knocking off from Brooklyn. I show you how we do it, wise guy style.
Kenny Freeberg, they say don't meet your heroes. Guess not in this case. Not at all, Kenny. Mookie was the nicest guy. I did 20 minutes with him, which I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to end the show with it, so probably a little after, probably around 12:15 somewhere. I'm going to put that on. He was the nicest guy. Jeff Bosey and Fedora the Explorer. It's a trend that there are Fedora lookalikes. No, Jeff, there's not. It's just you.
Yeah, and the Blues Brothers.
Well, speaking of Jeff, he had a show here this weekend. where he hosted for Dan LaRocco's birthday. But speaking of birthdays, August 26th is Jeff's birthday, and he's got his own show, the No Rhyme, No Reason show in the Giggle Room. So make sure you go to govs.com and check that out. This weekend at Governor's, Monroe Martin, Mike Keegan, Carla Okerson, Kathy Arnold, Rich Voss, Jay Black, Richie. Those are just some of the names you'll see at the Governor's stage this weekend. But then it's coming up soon, August 11th and 12th, the one and only Richie Byrne is playing at McGuire's. Our good friend Richie, who you can see on Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. That just dropped. A new episode just dropped this morning on our YouTube channel. Carol Miner's watching. She says, "Yay, Mookie!" Kenny says, "I didn't think you can go 20 minutes." Oh, with Mookie, I'll go. I'll go 20 minutes. But yeah, it was...
You'll slam it to his head faster than Lenny Dykstra.
You know what I didn't do with Mookie? Well, there are lots of things I didn't do.
Things.
But I've been made fun of for the intro that he does for this show.
Oh, yeah.
For such a long time. And even I make fun of it, too, because all he does is talk about, thanks for contacting me. I'd love to come back on your show, and I missed you guys. He's never been on this show before. I forgot to ask him about it. Saturday night, when we were talking about the podcast, I did say to him, I said, I once paid $100 on Cameo to get you to do an intro to my show. I said, so you're actually on my show every day. And he was laughing his ass off at that.
Yeah.
I don't know what was so funny about that, but he was laughing.
He's like, I made $100 off of that.
I made $100 off you, sucker. But then the next day, I did plan on showing it to him and saying, Mookie, what are you talking about? I thought that would be funny, but I totally forgot. I never asked him about it. But, yeah, so there you go. And speaking of baseball, did you see the Yogi Berra documentary?
No. I've watched Facing Nolan.
Oh, I watched that. That was
a great
good.
one. And the Reggie Jackson one I've watched. I haven't watched the Yogi one.
I didn't like the Reggie Jackson one.
See, I liked it because I got to see more about him. Like, I worked with a guy years ago who was, at one point, he was an assistant GM of the Yankees.
Oh, wow.
And he obviously, he knew everybody in the Yankee system. And, what I had heard about Reggie was fairly negative until I talked to him, and everything he said was positive.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you hear stories of Reggie big rounding first base and asking certain photographers how did that look, and accusing Billy Martin of being a racist and all these,
right.
And a lot of Yankee fans hate him. But I liked the document because I got to see, from whether it's fake or not, I got to see from his perspective of how he felt he was treated, and he didn't have it too easy. It seemed like, especially with Kansas City and then Oakland.
I had a hard time feeling bad for him on that. Like the way he was talking, like I still have something to offer, and they won't let me. Like he offered plenty, and he had such a celebrated career. Like I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't really have much, like, I don't know, like, are you really going to complain? Are you really going to feel like you didn't get your fair share when you've made millions and you're adored by so many and you're one of the best baseball players ever? Yeah. I just had a hard time feeling bad for him.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel bad for him, but I appreciated, him growing up and playing ball in a time where, not Lou Brock, who was the guy on the Cardinals that...
Gibson. Bob Gibson?
No, it wasn't Bob Gibson. It was somebody else. That they were the first ones to try to get out of, basically a contract for life.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but it wasn't Bob Gibson. It wasn't Lou Brock. It was another guy. I'm pretty sure it was the Cardinals, and that was kind of like, listen, you're gonna get a say 25 to 35 home runs a year. Say it's 30, right? 30 home runs, 300 batting average. And you're going to pay me $60,000 for the rest of my life, and I could see, regardless of race, you feeling that you're being taken advantage of, and it's the owners that are making all the money.
Oh yeah,
no matter
absolutely.
what. So I also, because I grew up in a time very different from that time, so I can appreciate those guys from that era of the '60s, feeling like I deserve to get paid what I'm worth, because even up until the 80s, there were players that had to work second jobs.
Oh, sure.
In the off season,
Oh yeah, I remember Richie Hebner. He was a grave digger during the off season.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that, but I do.
I remember Hojo was a stockbroker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lived in Woodbury.
Okay.
In the off season and was a stockbroker.
Mookie was a truck driver.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he just once in a while people, aren't you? Yeah.
Whitey Ford owned a bunch of Blockbuster videos.
Yep. I used to work up in Port Washington. I used to see. Yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah,
He used
yeah.
to see him up there. Actually, fairly regularly, I would see him up there.
He belonged to the same country club as my father-in-law, and I never got a chance to meet him.
Quiet
at the
guy.
time. But I mean, not then, but I met him when I was a kid. His grandson was being baptized at a church out in Southold, and the priest was friends with my parents and was like, "Your sons want to be the altar boys? I can't guarantee they're going to pay, but you're going to meet a Yankee legend." And Whitey came back before the baptism, signed everything we had. We had baseballs. We had a book of it was like an encyclopedia, an alphabetical encyclopedia of like the greatest baseball players ever at the time. And maybe like 1990, I guess it was, or 89. And signed a nice guy. He gave us Blockbuster Video.
Membership card?
It was like a promo picture of him with Blockbuster Video.
Oh wow!
He signed so much stuff, but it just a great guy. But
That's
again,
cool.
like these are guys that
they
it's a different era. That was the thing I'm saying
right.
with Reggie, is that it was a different era that I think everyone's gonna say, everyone will say whatever. Like Keith, I love Keith Hernandez, but like they say, don't meet your heroes. The one time I met him, it was I was like crushed. I wasn't 40. I was like in my mid to late 30s. I went to opening day with my dad and one of my brothers, and we had seats. My dad hooked us up. We got seats right in front of the press box.
Oh wow!
Opening day, seats were insane. I have a Keith, late 80s jersey, the gray with the script that said New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, imagine if we could meet him or Rhonda, just to say hi. I'd be like, that'd be so awesome. So we have seats, and at the time it was the Caesars Club behind there, where the bars. And I didn't know that the broadcasters, they have to walk through the Caesars Club to get to their boxes, right?
Okay.
So whatever, we're hanging around, the game's over, and I'm like, I wonder, and my dad's like, yeah, he's like, they're probably gonna be here. So Ron Darling walks over, and the bartender who's right there had made him a drink. He's like, thanks. He waves to everybody, and goes back into the box. And then maybe 5 of us there, about 100 feet away from there. Keith comes out, and people go nuts. And the guy next to me, he's bombed. He's like, hey. Meanwhile, I'm totally sober. Guy's like, hey, Keith. And he looks, and I just happen to point to the 17, and I point to 17, and he gives me a thumbs up, and he waves. And I was like, what? And my dad, standing right behind me, he goes, only person ever called me Willie is my dad. And it was funny because that's what I call my son. My dad's like, he's calling you over, Willie. You got to go over. Look, Keith Hernandez is waving you. And I felt like I was 7 all over again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I felt like, the pan-in of Chief Brody when Alex Kintner gets attacked by the... And it's just you see him he just go. I literally I felt like I was getting sucked in. I don't remember walking. I was like, holy cow, I'm going to
floating to Keith.
I'm going to meet my, totally. It's like how Jerry felt about him. It's 100%. I was like, I'm floating to get to Keith
Will
Hernandez. I'm like, he's going to sign the jersey. I'm going to shake his hand. I don't care about, this is the greatest experience ever. One of them. And he stops me. I'm this far away, and he goes, girls. And there were two chicks behind me. I don't know if they were his daughters or escorts or what, but they had luggage with them. And I was like, I wasn't even embarrassed. It was the biggest feeling of defeat. And that drunk guy's about, he's like, someone's getting mustache rides.
Oh my
And I was like,
goodness.
And I was like, the only good that could come out of this is he at least knows that I wasn't the one with that voice.
Right.
And then on top of that, all right, whatever. So I look at my dad's like, what happened? He's like, I'm like, he stopped me. And he goes, what? Like, I didn't even think to say anything. Like,
Right.
I
That's
didn't
what was
think
going
to
through my head. Like, Keith, can't you sign this really quick?
I didn't even think to say, because I was like a 7-year-old kid. Again,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
hear
like
ya.
everything. Like, I had no words to say. Like,
Yeah.
could you just sign this? It wasn't like,
Yeah.
and the fact that he did this and like I obeyed him, it was like,
Like you had the force.
yeah, I was like, it was totally out. It was like an out of body experience. So long story short, we're now by the. It's a long story. It's not true. We're by the elevators like 10 minutes later, right? And the drunk dude is next. He's like, yeah, look. He's like, I got a picture with Keith, and I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. I walked by. He goes, hey Keith, how about a picture? And I already took the picture. I was like, dude.
I would have kicked him right in the nuts.
It was
that guy's a dick.
It was like the greatest, like one of the greatest and one of the worst moments combined ever. Like seeing my favorite Met ever, and then just being like,
That's
stop.
yeah.
And it wasn't his fault either. Like I probably looked like
Yeah, but it's not.
psycho.
But you think
I'm a grown man with gray hair in my 30s.
So what?
Wearing his jersey, like walking up to him like, you know.
But still, but this whole
I would have been scared of me too.
No, he could have said, all right, I'll just sign this one. You know, like
Yeah.
Now that would have been the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
I once went to a Roger Daltrey concert, and I had like I don't know, you remember how I got them? I had like second row, and Keith was down the row from me. This was like a year or two after he retired from baseball.
Oh, yeah.
So after and nobody was like, this was in the city somewhere. Nobody was like, it was like I don't think anybody knew who he was except for me. And I don't know if he was drunk or what, but so the concert's over, people are walking, and I didn't do it on purpose, but we just didn't leave yet. But I looked down, and like the whole row was clear except for him. He's just kind of standing there too. And he didn't know, he was getting frustrated because he couldn't figure out which exit to take to leave. And you could see it. He's like, you could see him. He's getting, I don't know if we should go that way. Oh, maybe we go that way. I'm like, so I know which way I'm going, and I'm passing him. So I just go, Keith, good concert, right? And he goes, what? Like that. I go, good concert. He goes, yeah, good concert. He just went back to being all flustered. I was like, take it easy, man.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's terrible, man.
Yeah. I think every time I'm on this show, I'm just gonna keep mentioning it until one day he like
we
reaches
get Keith
out
on the show,
and he's like, his book is great though too. I Am Keith Hernandez.
I haven't read it. I'm in the middle of Mookie's book now, actually.
What's his book?
What the hell is it called? I'm drawing a blank. What the hell is Mookie's book called? It's good, and it's funny with everything you're saying about Reggie Jackson. That was my feeling with Mookie. Like, he talks about his childhood in the 50s, like dirt poor families.
Yeah.
Family were farmers.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford anything. And it's weird to me because, like, you learn about this stuff in school.
Right.
And all the inequality and whatnot. But because you're learning it.
We're not that detached from it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the weird part. Like, I always picture, like, Little House on the Prairie or the 1800s.
Right.
When that stuff was going on. But that's not the case.
1950s, yeah.
And these are these guys are one generation ahead of us, and they experience that.
Yeah.
It's strange to me.
Yeah. Right, like you have, you find out that this guy, whoever it is that they grew up, their father was a sharecropper, and you're like, wow, so a sharecropper really made no money. It was like, oh, you were a slave. Tell you what, you can still do the job, and I'll give you. And it turns out that you're not even making money.
Right.
A lot of times you're now in debt to the person. It's like,
yep. And that's what happened to him. He wasn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't even afford to play like in leagues or anything. A local, a judge that lived in his town saw him play and knew that this guy knew that he would be something.
Yeah.
So he made some connections, and he would personally take Mookie around to tryouts and to teams and stuff. It's just lucky. Mookie, Life, Baseball, and the '86 Mets is the name of the book.
Life, Baseball, '86.
You can get it on Amazon. What is this? You can get it on thriftbooks.com for $5. Wow.
The last 20 pages are missing, though. And then the ball came in. It was a full count. I closed my eyes, swung, and... Copyright 2021. That was it. I remember reading somewhere that I don't know if it was college. Maybe it was college or high school. I don't know. that he wore cleats that were like 3 sizes too small or something, because it was like the only cleats he could find. Or maybe it was shoes.
I don't know.
Like I think he shared shoes and baseball cleats, I think, with his brothers. And
Yeah, that I think was in there in the book.
It was like 2 or 3 sizes too small. I think that's how he like got so fast, was that his feet were just killing him.
Wow. No, there was nothing in that
I
so
could be
far.
making that part up, but it
Yeah,
sounded
maybe.
right.
That's right. I'll write that in my copy of the book.
He carved Wonder Boy into his bat too.
then,
Sounds right.
And then he got shot.
Yeah. He got poisoned. He got shot. He looked up, saw Glenn Close stand up, and then he.
I wouldn't mind waking up to see Glenn Close standing. I love Glenn Close.
I don't find
love
her attractive at all.
Especially in that movie. I thought she looked good in that movie.
Hook, where she has the beard and she goes in the boo box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Fatal Attraction when she shows her boobies.
Nah, I didn't.
I saw
don't
her.
Think she's good looking.
I think for me, she's such a great actress. That's actually part of the turn on for me.
Yeah.
She's a treasure in my opinion.
She'll pretend that you're pleasing her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw her.
I get that.
I actually saw her, just like you and Hernandez. I saw her at a Met game once sing the national anthem, and I'm telling you, I'm up in the nosebleeds, practically in a different state. But I'm telling you, we connected. There was nobody else in the stadium. It was just me and Glenn Close.
I saw Carol Alt. We connected. But she was dating, Alexa Yashin, who was the captain of the Islanders at the time. But she used to go to games and sit with his parents, not too far from where my buddy had seats. And I used to go with him all the time. And then I remember being online to get. She ate so much popcorn.
Really?
She would get a big bag of popcorn at every game and just nonstop
No kidding.
eating popcorn. Yeah.
I do that with French fries.
Yeah? I do that with like everything. So I remember being online to get the prep. I don't know if I haven't been to UBS. I've been to UBS a couple times, but I don't remember seeing the pretzel braids they used to have at the Coliseum. It was like the size of your forearm. They were like,
oh yes,
I
remember
so
that.
Good.
Yep.
So I used to get like a couple beers and a couple pretzel braids. So I remember being online and being like, oh, the woman in front of me, she looks pretty hot, but like not thinking too much of it, Her back's towards me, but she just turns around like for no reason, turns around and goes hi, and I realized it's her. I was like, hey, how you doing? It was like Billy Madison. Hey. So I was like, how you doing?
Football's a devil.
Yeah, in my mind I was like, hey baby, but I was like, hey, how you doing? What's up, baby? So she's like, how you doing? I'm like, pretty good. And she's like, I'm Carol. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, nice to meet you, Carol. What's your name? I was like, Will. It's nice to meet you, Will. I was like, like I couldn't play. I was like, it's nice to meet you, Carol. She's like, it's a good game. I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, they're doing okay. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I like trying to do small talk, and it was like,
was she waiting for her order or something?
She was waiting on order. She like, there's still like 4 people or 5 people ahead of us.
She just turned around.
But she just turned around.
That's
to, like,
nice.
Which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was just so odd though. At the same time, like, listen, I don't want to have a relationship where all of a sudden he's going out like, Yashin's going out like Senna. That's that story?
No.
She was with this is all alleged, but supposedly all true.
Okay.
So I can't get accused of making something up.
That's right.
Because it's on the internet.
There you go.
She was married to Ron Greshner of the Rangers.
Okay.
And during the time had a relationship with Senna, the Formula One driver.
From
Brazil.
Okay.
Right? And like they had supposedly they met, like they had same social networks they used to meet at. But then it like came around that they were having a relationship while she was married to Greshner. Assuming he wasn't faithful to her either, whatever, not pointing fingers.
But it could have been you and not him.
Right.
Yeah.
So at some point, though, I think she was going to leave, or like at some point, it like had been agreed with Greshner. She was going to leave Greshner to be with Senna, and the guy dies in a car crash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I basically saved Alexa Yashin's life by kind of like, hey, I just want my pretzel braids and, a beer. and I'm good.
It's not a bad list to have.
I'm an Islander fan. I want this guy to live.
Right.
You know?
But to have him, then the race car driver, then you. That's not a bad place to be on Carol Alt's list.
Yeah.
And then Howard Stern is probably after you.
Yeah, I mean,
because she was in that movie.
Private Parts. Yeah, she's on the plane. Yeah, but I didn't see the Yogi Berra document movie. To answer your question, 20 minutes ago.
No, that's all right. It's great, and I know you will love it. Do you know that guy? Whoever wrote that?
No.
No? Okay. Well, whoever you are, go scratch. Oh, now it's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Chef Felix wants to know if you missed anything. Felix, we did mention that you were coming in next week. Will is actually going to join us next week as well. And I told him you were coming, and he's still willing to show up. So that's pretty big of him right there. So,
Hey.
yeah, you will. I was crying at the end of the Yogi Berra documentary.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. It was really great.
His daughter made it, or his granddaughter?
His granddaughter, who's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Dale Berra's daughter?
I'm not sure which one.
He had a...
Because, yes,
he had
they
a
talk
baseball
about that.
problem.
They talk about that in this documentary.
Yeah, I think they tried everything to help him.
Right, and that was the thing. The whole family had to do an intervention.
Yeah.
Yep. But he looks older, of course, but he looks like he's okay, I guess. He was, didn't seem like he was strung out.
It was during the 80s.
Oh, and a lot of people were doing it.
So this is the thing I had the other day. I posted a picture of Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys saved baseball for a lot of a lot more people started watching baseball in '98 while they were chasing America, and they're not in the Hall of Fame. But Bud Selig, who 100% knew what was going on, turned a blind eye. Bart Giamatti's another one.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what was going on, and somebody was like, "These guys cheated." Okay, so let's go back to the '80s, '70s, '60s. Guys that were doing speed, guys that were doing coke.
Right.
Right. You can't tell me these guys. Oh yeah, we took greens. When a guy is taking greenies, or you see a baseball player during that time having a cup of coffee during a game, the whole purpose was that the speed would kick up into full nine. So you're telling me that these guys, who weren't drug-free, they're allowed to be in the Hall of Fame?
Don Larson, who pitched that perfect game in the World Series, wasn't he drunk or hungover or something? I know
David Wells.
But I think Larson was too.
Really?
Or he was actually drunk at the time. I'm telling you, there was something like that with him. I mean, yeah, there's so many.
And what's his name? No, who had the perfect game on acid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but
yeah, there's a bunch of them.
But that's the only thing is that I hate Barry Bonds because even the players and the fans they hate he wouldn't do season ticket holders get a chance to go on the field and meet the players. There's all these meet and greets. Supposedly he never wanted anything to do with it.
Right. Yeah. I heard that.
During spring training, he would be in a separate car from the team. That even Willie McCovey would be, and Willie Mays would be on the bus with the team, and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of things that he was all about himself. But even as much as I hate him, the guy should still be in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens. There's so many of these guys that baseball was exciting. It was also a time in my life where I had switched to. I was playing lacrosse in high school and in college. I wasn't paying as much attention to baseball, but I remember watching those games. McGuire's my favorite, by the way. Bias. McGuire is my favorite player of all time.
No kidding.
Hernandez is second. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That just changes everything.
But you can't. Steroids is not going to get a guy to be able to hit 195,
right.
whatever, 95 mile an hour.
That's exactly it.
Fastball.
I agree.
But
well, what do you think of Pete Rose? Now that betting is practically legal everywhere, should he be reinstated? You think?
I think if he didn't bet against the he didn't bet against the Reds.
No, I don't think he
did.
If
he didn't bet against the Reds, who cares?
Right, but other than the fact it was he did break rules.
Right, so if he broke the rules, fine. But I think there should be. They have the what is it called? It's not like being voted in by your peers. There's that other award where you're
like a fan thing.
Yeah, but there's somewhere I think where the players can also vote.
I think so. Yeah,
because that's how some of these other guys are getting in. But come on, Scott Rowland is in the Hall of Fame, but not Keith Hernandez.
Yep.
And
Keith's numbers are better than Rowland's.
Yeah, and even next year, I think Rowland has one extra World Series. I think Rowland's got 3 World Series championships.
Don't care.
But David Wright, like David Wright's a Met All-Star, Met Hall of Fame. Should he be in the Baseball Hall of Fame? I think it's tough to say. Guy had a lot of back injuries, but so did Mike Bossy. But every year Bossy was hurt, he had 50 goals.
That's a documentary. Did you see the Jeter one, the series? What was it called? The Captain?
Nah, I hate Derek Jeter.
You hate Derek Jeter?
I have
never met anybody that hates. Why?
I just hate the fact that when you have that kind of talent, that your agents say to the Cincinnati Reds, don't draft me, and you call the Cincinnati Reds, you say don't draft me. Like, I'm a Giants fan. I can't stand that Eli Manning did that. Also, that he refused to play for the Chargers if they drafted him because he wanted to go to the Giants.
I've never heard this about Jeter. So the Reds were going to draft him, and they called said no, we're waiting for the Yankees, so don't do it.
He told them don't. Yeah,
supposedly
he even called the Reds himself and said, I want to play for the Yankees. Yeah, dude, I'm a Mets fan. I'd play for the Yankees. Who wouldn't want to play for the Yankees?
Yep.
But I wouldn't have the balls to call somebody.
Right, I just want to get in the bigs. Yeah,
just get drafted, play your contract out, and then move on.
And Felix says, yeah, Babe Ruth had many hangovers. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Babe Ruth was a big partier, and he's loved. He knew Barry Bonds in college? Really?
Arizona State, we hung out, had heroes, and watched General Hospital.
You watched General Hospital with Barry Bonds? All right, we'll save that for next week, Felix, when you're here with us.
But he had talent. He did. That's the other thing too, is that like Bonds and McGuire. Sosa, I don't remember prior to the start date, but Bonds was a guy like Ken Griffey Jr. Jr. is the perfect example of that era of guys that, looking at them, you wouldn't think that they did steroids. There's no reason to believe that he did. Griffey and Bonds could have been Triple Crown contenders without steroids at all. Bonds took it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Balco boys.
Right.
Bonds didn't need it. McGuire didn't need it. Jose Canseco, I really don't think needed it either. The guy, the ability was there. I mean, yeah, he bounced a couple balls off his head for home runs.
Yeah.
But those guys, they didn't need the steroids. That's the thing is that.
Yeah.
That's why I think several of these guys should go into the Hall of Fame because it wasn't necessary. Their talent was already there.
I agree 100%. The steroids isn't going to make you hit it over the fence. I mean, it's not going to give you the talent.
Right.
Fine.
Your hand-eye coordination's already there.
Right.
And if you're arguing that the steroids enhances your hand-eye coordination, then you can argue the guys that took speed and uppers and everything and cocaine.
Right. You'd have to go back to the whole game now, and again, cancel people like Babe Ruth. It's silly.
You could say this guy had a case of beer. He'd drink a 12-pack and 6 hot dogs before every game. Could that have been impairing him too? But,
right. That's what I'm saying. Right. It's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to get to one more story, and then I'll play the Mookie thing. If you guys remember, and I think you remember, Will, too, and I'll show you a picture. We had back, I think this was like 2 years ago or so, we had this thing outside the building when Sally and I were doing the show from outside, where we had our buddy Pete, this guy, weirdo Pete, who came over, started talking to us right in the middle of the show, and then he got a little inappropriate with Sally, and we had to chase him away.
No.
So, you remember that?
No.
No. All right. Well, I'm showing his picture right now. Should be come up any second. I don't know if you. So, yeah, we were doing the show. I don't remember why we were doing the show outside, but we were. Maybe just because it was nice out. And this guy Pete, he just pulls up. He tells us his name is Pete, and he starts asking questions about how to get, how can one do a show at the club. So it seemed innocent enough, but. The more we were talking to him, the weirder he got, and then he started to like flirt with Sally a little bit, but then I didn't see it at the time. I heard about it later, then I watched the video back. He got a little touchy with her. Physically touchy. So Sally was going to kill him, and I should have just let her kill him because she was definitely stronger than any of us. But then he took off, and then it got weird because we were then making fun of him, like for the a few days after that, and even now, he still comes up sometimes by you guys. But it was a few days later, I got a message from him on Facebook. He was mad that we were making fun of him. And he wrote in capital letters something like, "I'm not going to take this anymore," or something like that. And I was like, what the? And we worried for a couple of weeks that maybe he'd just, kind of drive by one day and, shoot us.
Yeah.
It faded away. We never heard from him again. Thank goodness.
Until.
Well, we have not.
Oh.
Pete has not made a return.
Oh, okay.
However, there's a new guy who I've not talked to yet, so I don't know his name. I don't know anything about him.
He's outside right now?
He's not outside right now. So it was 2 weeks ago. Hugh Murray was coming in to do his show.
Oh, with Travis Grant.
Right. Treading Water. And and they made some kind of reference about a guy being outside. So I just thought they were kind of joking. Like, I thought maybe it was like an inside joke or something. I didn't even ask. I was just sitting there doing my thing, not really paying attention. We do their show. They leave. About maybe 15 minutes later, I'm done with what I got to do, so I leave. I walk outside. Sure enough, there's this guy. He's got a chair set up. He's got a milk crate that he put some cardboard on, and he was just sitting there eating. I'm like, oh, this is different. Yeah. So I just said hello to him, and I kept walking. And then every few days now, ever since, it's not every single day, but every few days
he sets up chairs.
It's all set up so he must be sitting there regularly, a few days a week, and just sitting there in the sun right outside the door here.
So maybe he's trying to get people at the dairy barn next door. He's trying to get change or something from them. Maybe.
I mean, when I saw him, the deli next door was crowded. He wasn't saying anything to anybody. He was just sitting there. He's just sitting there eating. So I don't know why he picked that particular spot. I don't know whose chair that is.
Does he work at the deli and he's on break?
I've never seen him before, and I'm in there often, that deli, since I live here. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange.
Maybe he's a big fan of Division High School.
Maybe he's a big fan of Hershey and the Keegs.
So what's up? I don't know. Hirsch has to know this. What's up with the sign? Did somebody put?
I don't know what that is.
Is it gum or a nail through his forehead?
I have not walked close up enough to really investigate.
I'm afraid to walk that close.
It looks like bird crap that just happens to be in a perfect circle.
It's a perfect circle. It's 100% a perfect circle.
I don't know. He has not mentioned it to me, and I'm a little, because he's very sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to mention it to him.
I'm gonna check when I step out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check and see what's on it and take a picture because I'm curious. Because I walked by and I did a double take. Yeah. It looks like a gold nail or like a gold thumbtack head. In the center of Mark's.
Yeah, it's the banner outside that Mark treasures. It's a perfect circle right here.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody deliberately did something. I mean, his daughter just graduated from the high school back here, so he probably knows a lot of the kids that are walking around here.
I can't see it being, but he's such an awesome dude. I can't see it being done deliberately. That's why I think it could actually just be bird shit.
But that's my initial feeling, bird shit. But it's been there for about 2 weeks, so I would think bird shit would have washed off by now. But because he is a good guy, that's why I am thinking that somebody did it deliberately because they want to mess. They're just joking around with him.
Or somebody walked by and spit gum or put gum on it, and they just put it on his forehead there because they think sitting next to him they wouldn't do that because it's Kim Jong-un. In that picture, they confused Mike with Kim Jong-un. They're afraid that the wrath of a whole country would come down on him.
It does look like Kim Jong-un in that picture. Now that Mike's lost weight, it doesn't look like him.
No. But yeah.
Andy remembers Pete. He says, Pete the douche. That is what we were calling him, yeah. Oh, Andy, the only thing with steroids is the ability to recover. Your point about David Wright, if he juiced, he may have been able to get stronger to prevent those injuries. There is a lot of conjecture.
Yeah, but there's no. Also during that time, I wonder if David Wright was on juice also because look at Paul LaDuca, who was the little Eddie Munster, the catcher at the time. LaDuca got busted for PEDs. So did Carlos Delgado.
Right.
Don't tell me that I can't. I don't think David Wright. Also, all of a sudden, he's got spinal stenosis and he's got back problems. Like, a lot of these guys get issues and injuries as a result. A lot of times, it's the knees. You remember Barry Bonds had knee issues? Delgado had knee issues
Yes,
also.
he did.
That
Yeah, but didn't they say David Wright's back issues stemmed from that collision he had with Ike Davis?
I don't know.
I thought that's what they said. Do you remember that, where they tripped over each other in front of the mound to catch a ball?
No.
Yeah.
I remember diving into the stands a couple times. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they said he had spinal stenosis. But I wonder if also he had something as a result of juicing. You know,
I've never heard his name, rumored or linked to anything.
No.
But
Well, listen, how many people talk about LeBron James? All of a sudden, LeBron James blew up. He doubled his size and muscle when he went to Miami. You think that's all from working out?
Yep. But to your point, though, I mean, basketball, baseball, no matter what we're talking about, whatever league they do turn a blind eye to that because it's bringing in the money.
Michael Jordan and gambling, but no, he wanted to play for the White Sox and the Cleveland Barons, whatever the heck they were, the minor league team. He was busted for gambling. There was a whole thing.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? So that's why I think the same thing with LeBron. Supposedly he was on steroids or whatever HGH when he was in Miami with the Heat, and he doubled in bulk. And why would you say anything? This guy's winning. He's the face of the sport. That's why I think in '98, why would you question these guys? They're the face of the sport in '98.
The sport was almost dead at that time due to the strike. Like even now,
right? The strike was '94,
right?
And a lot of people stopped watching.
Right.
But when else were they? Whether it was a game or a TV show, that they would interrupt the broadcast to show Mark McGuire's up the plate right now.
Right. They
Sammy
didn't do that
Sosa's
for
up the
Bonds.
They did. They did once he got to 70.
Yeah.
Because McGuire had 70. They did that for Bonds later, but because I think a lot of it was because they were still people weren't changing the channel when they would cut into that.
Right.
There was an argument I had in a group on Facebook I belong to with some friends about sports. One guy, these guys cheated bottom line. Yeah, they didn't save baseball. Yeah, you what though? For people that stopped watching, they got people watching again. You can't say that they didn't.
Right. Oh, that's a fact. Yeah, whether you feel they cheated or not, it's still a fact that they brought money back to that game. Yeah. All right. We're going to cut this off. I'm going to put on the Mookie. Will Scharen, ladies and gentlemen. Always a pleasure, pal.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Will will be back next week, next Monday with Chef Felix. Thank God, because I'm going to need him. No, I'm kidding, Felix. So, like I said, yesterday morning, Don Sill and I got a chance to hang out with Mookie Wilson. Don got to ask his own questions. He'll be posting that separately. I'm going to play my portion with Mookie now, and it's also being posted on YouTube in a little while where you can just watch that on its own. All right, govs.com. Go see some great comedy shows. Don't forget Knockem Dead Comedy. We have some dates at the brokerage coming up, and we have some dates at McGuire's coming up as well. So make sure you come join us for a lot of fun. Tomorrow, Mike O'Sullivan. Mike O'Sullivan, he's free for the summer. Then he has work and stuff in the fall. But he's going to start doing Tuesday trivia with me for the remainder on Tuesdays for the remainder of the summer, since Hugh is no longer going to do it. And Jay, he's just too big now. He doesn't want to waste his time on this tiny little show. No, I'm kidding. Jay just has to work too. So yeah, Mike O'Sullivan will be here tomorrow. Thursday, Brandon will be here with Noel. Noel, do you know Noel, the comedian? I forgot his last name.
I know Noel Gallagher.
Noel Gallagher will be here. Friday, we have Benny Rizzuti and Jen Snortland coming in, joining me and Andy. Andy, you better be here. All right, everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Going to play some Mookie. We got Steve Squared tonight at 6:30 on the YouTube channel. All right, we'll see you guys later. Finally, after years of begging, I finally agreed to sit with Mookie Wilson. This is like a kid meeting Santa Claus moment for me. I got to tell you.
I almost look like Santa Claus.
Yeah, you and me both. This is a big pleasure for me, a big personal moment. So I thank you for your time today. This is great. Mookie Wilson, New York Met legend, of course known for one of the most famous moments in sports, and of course I'm talking about put down the ducky.
Yeah. You gotta put down the ducky. Put down the ducky. Put down the ducky. Put down the ducky.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about that. Put down the rubber ducky.
Was that a lot of coaxing to get you and Keith to sing that, or you were?
No, at that time I was fairly new in New York. getting used to the whole New York thing, celebrities and athletes
Right.
being in commercials. And I was honored that they asked because my kids,
Oh, sure.
they
were young at that
Sesame
time.
Street. Come on, that was a big thing back then.
Yeah.
And I got to actually had some fun with it.
Was that when your kids started to realize, wow, my dad's, somebody?
Well, at that point was one of my son was the only one born at the time.
Oh, okay.
And he watched Sesame Street every morning before we go to school.
Yeah, sure.
Sesame Street. And my daughters who were born after that, they were shocked. They had singing, Sesame Street, the count, and all the.
They didn't care about
no
baseball.
No, they could care less about that kind of stuff.
And when it comes to, of course, to the famous play, did you have? There's a quick shot of you, but that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Buckner.
Yeah.
To me, that he totally redeemed himself after
Yeah.
that play. The way he jumps and saves the baby, I laughed for hours.
Yeah.
Man. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's funny that when Buckner got the gig, he actually called me, and when was I interested in doing something
Sure.
with him. I didn't know exactly what it was at the time.
Right, okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, because I don't watch a lot of comedy. I
Okay.
really didn't watch a lot of comedy.
Really?
And no, for some reason I just don't watch a lot of comedy. And because Bill called me and asked me about it, I said, "Yeah, man, why not?" Because we're that close and we did that
Right,
kind of thing
right.
together. It was more fun being on the set and watching them work
Yeah.
than the little extra cameo that I did. I can care less about the cameo. Being on the set and watching Larry David and all those other guys do this whole thing with no script. They had no script.
Right, yes.
And it's just amazing to me. I was just amazed.
Yeah, and
I had my own trailer too, by the way. They gave me a
Oh,
trailer.
nice.
Yeah, I was big time.
bring your food, the whole
Oh,
works.
the whole works. The whole works.
Finally, you made it after all
I
those
made
years.
it. I have arrived.
And it's so interesting to me how you and Buckner became close friends, going out and doing all the signings and appearances together. Was that weird to you?
It wasn't initially because after, number one, I met Buckner because I played AAA ball with his brother.
Oh wow!
And so when I got called up in '80, he told me, say hello to my brother. I didn't know much about the Cubs and
Right.
I said okay. So when I actually saw Bill, it was like looking right at his brother. They looked like twins.
Oh no kidding!
So
Same mustache and everything.
No, I did it, but they hit the same size, same height. You wouldn't know
Oh,
them
wow.
different. They turned it back. You wouldn't know them different apart.
Right.
And I went in and introduced myself. Hey Bill, Jimmy told me, to say hello when I got to his. He said, Jimmy, you met Jimmy that crazy bro. I said, yeah, I'm crazy. So we had a little talk, and that was what we did with the Cubs, and that's when I got called up in '80, and I hadn't spoken to him since.
Oh wow!
The next meeting I had with Bill Buckner was actually in '86.
So the winning run is at second base with 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh jeez!
And
Wow.
then after '86, I didn't speak to him again until it was 90, 89, 90 when I got traded in '89.
Right, to Toronto, yeah.
I got traded and we were over in Kansas City and he was in Kansas City at
Right.
the time.
Yep.
So the story is I met him. I was on the right field line, the stretching, get ready for the games and stuff, and he came walking across the ballpark from the owner's the home dugout, which is the batting cages was down the left field line at
Okay.
the old ballpark.
Right.
And he came and he stood over me with a bat.
You can imagine what was going through your mind.
You don't know what goes through my mind. And he came and stood over me with the bat, and he said, "Hey Mookie," yeah, he said, "You want to hit me some ground balls?" And from that moment,
Been there, done that.
yeah, and from that moment, we just became very, casual friends, and then we started just doing things together, and then we got together a couple years later,
and signed a little agreement with Steiner Sports to sign the photo.
Right.
And we became kind of like little business partners, and we became just really, really, really good friends.
Like most athletes, we want to be given credit for what we have accomplished on the field, and that one moment, and it wasn't so much how great I was, it was just one of those freak things that happen in baseball. But we have gotten past that, I know, and we're good friends. We're very good friends.
You were mentioning that Steve Cohen, the current Mets owner, has that ball.
Yeah.
And I know you're not big with collecting, right?
No.
You don't have.
No.
Do you have anything?
I have a few things now that I acquired later.
Okay.
It's just signed photos from a lot of the real Hall of Fame players and stuff like that. But I don't have a collection of memorabilia. I just don't. It just wasn't my thing.
No,
it still isn't.
Really?
It still is. But I understand now that some of the things I get, I will just pass it down to my kids and my grandkids. So,
Sure. Right.
As for me, I got rid of everything I had.
Everything?
Come
on, you
I got rid of my shoes.
Really?
Everything. I kept absolutely nothing.
Sell them off or threw them out?
I gave people for charities and stuff like
Nice,
that.
okay, yeah, charities.
No, I didn't sell it. I wish I had sold it. If I'd known the bulk would sell $400,000, but I sold that too. But I didn't know at the time. So
Well, let me show you what I have. In fact, I mentioned, speaking of Steiner Sports, I was complaining to you before that Steiner Sports used to, of course you have to pay to get online and get the autograph, which is fine, but Steiner Sports back in 2011 made me pay another $25 to get the autograph personalized. So this is it right here.
Yeah.
And I paid, so since I was paying $25, I actually said to you, I want you to write to Tony, my best friend.
Yeah.
This man looked up when I said, "Can you write my best friend?" I'll never forget it. You just kind of did. You just looked at me like that, and I said, "I'm not kidding, man." And you did. You were obviously nice enough to sign that. I have, of course.
Oh,
this is one of my
gospel
prized
album.
possessions right here.
Yeah.
You wrote all the songs on here.
I wrote
you
every
and your
song.
wife. You and your wife.
Every song on there, every lyric, I wrote everything.
But you're not singing on it. You sing "Put Down the Ducky." You won't sing on it.
I'm not a singer, but there's I have family members who are just outstanding, which there's outstanding singers. Singing is not my thing.
Did you sing the national anthem once at a game?
I sung "God Bless America."
Oh, all right. So singing's your thing. I bet you could have pulled this off.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's no problem. I could do a song here and there. But it's not something that I'm not making money out of.
What thing? Mookie Wilson, baseball card from when he was in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
This is the Tidewater Tides.
Yep. Yeah.
And this is one of my more interesting possessions. It's a ticket to the first major league game you ever played.
Ooh.
Yeah. How much would you pay for this? $1?
Me?
Yeah.
I got my memory, so that's all I need. But I remember that first game wasn't too good either.
Oh, is that right?
No, I was probably in heaven because I'm in Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Everybody knew the Dodgers were, even though I wasn't a baseball fan. I mean, back in the day, was the game of the week. All you saw in baseball teams was TV was the Yankees or the Dodgers.
This week in baseball.
Yeah, this week in baseball.
Yep.
They didn't play the Braves and the Mets. They never played the Mets. I didn't know the Mets were, but anyway, they played the Dodgers. So, and now I'm actually in Dodger Stadium. And I'm looking across the field. I see Ron Say, Steve Garvey, Reggie Smith, Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I kind of went over the series.
But it's funny to me you mentioned all those Dodgers, because in 1980 there was probably nobody really on your bench. I'd be like, wow.
There was. I can't remember who was on that bench. It was, we had a bunch of really, really nice guys like Doug Flynn and John Stern, God bless him.
Yeah, right.
Guys who, Steve Henderson was there.
Pat Zachary, was he there at that time?
Who?
Pat Zachary?
Pat Zachary was there. Craig Swan, Ron Hodges.
Right.
You had good guys, but it wasn't a winning team.
Right.
As a matter of fact, our tribute team was better, probably.
Right. And then the last thing I'm going to show him is right here. You know this guy, right?
Oh man, yeah.
Eric
Yeah, the
Tartaglione.
comedian.
Yep. Well, that's where we're from. We're from Governor's Comedy Club, so we know Eric well.
Yeah.
He was begging to be a part of this, and I said, forget it, get out of here. I'm kidding. But I know he'll appreciate the mention.
Avid participant in the fantasy camp. Him and his brother. We just.
Is he any good? No.
Any good?
Yeah, playing ball.
Wait, I've been compared to what? What we compared him to here now?
Exactly.
That was an open question right there. Have some boundaries there.
Now you mentioned before you're not a comedy fan. Now, I thought you were. Aren't you big into cartoons?
But cartoons are not comedy though.
What?
It's not comedy. When you say cartoon, cartoon may be the wrong word. Animated stories is better than cartoon.
Okay. So we're not talking like Bugs Bunny or something
I'm
like
not
that.
big on the Buzz. I watch Buzz, but I watch Buzz Bunny and laugh.
So you're talking like what, like Dark Batman or something?
Yeah, Batman, Transformers, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
I mean, I can watch them all day.
Oh wow.
Had old story back then. A lot of Thundar.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
He-Man.
Sure.
That kind of stuff. My son used to watch them every morning, so I had to watch them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Good dad right there.
Yeah.
Spend time with your son. And music too. Aren't you a big music guy too?
Love music.
What are we talking about? Like what kind of?
A variety across the board. I just music in general. It's no particular genre. I jazz, rock and roll, depending. I rap, depending. I'm a little lyric rap. Gospel music.
Yeah, right.
I'm really, really, really big. I love music.
How does your faith play into, like, do you not like certain music or certain lyrics because of?
Yeah, it's not the music.
Curse.
It's not the music. It's the lyrics that turn you off.
Right. Okay.
It's the lyrics that turn you off, and and a lot of it has to do with my faith. No question about it. But I don't let my faith deprive me of a joy.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that's a big mistake a lot of people make. My faith won't allow me to listen to jazz or anything that's secular, which is totally wrong. Totally wrong.
Right. I admit I get confused as to what's okay to watch or listen to. But I'm not saying these things.
No.
So I don't. Then does that make it okay? I struggle with that all the time.
There is a lot of good in a lot of secular music. Matter of fact, I wrote a sermon. One of my sermons that I preach, and it's based on a secular song. But the title has a very spiritual title, and the title of the song is "My Soul Is Not for Sale."
Okay.
And it's made by Jazzy Jeff.
Oh wow.
This was a rapper. I don't know if you've ever heard Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, Will Smith.
He's a rapper, and it was just the lyrics on it. The meaning is there. So there is something to be learned from every section of music if you take time to listen to it and not judge before you listen to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said, Mookie Wilson. Well said.
No player became so popular so fast.
The Blue Jays didn't give you number one?
No.
No?
I wasn't wrapped up in the numbers.
Really?
No.
See, I still get mad when I see a Met wearing number one.
No,
It's wrong.
I know.
Especially when Louis Castillo had it. That was bad. He didn't deserve it.
That's the fan talking in you.
That's right.
I've had a different number in every level of ball I've played.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I've never had the same number. People do identify athletes by their numbers.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times. It has no real significant meaning to me. The only reason I had number one because it was the smallest uniform in the box when I got to the Mets.
Do you ever? I think one of the reasons you were still are my favorite Met was because of the. I mean, obviously you weren't the biggest home run hitter.
No.
You were super clutch. You and Hernandez, in my opinion, super clutch hitters. And of course, the speed. You always kind of got something going because of your speed. But it was more it was more of an inspirational thing because you just gave it your all. But there was also there was definitely a sense of humor involved there. Like I remember when you hit like 1,800 foul balls into the dugout and you were at the plate laughing. But also, you were involved, of course the Butler play, but you were involved in so many weird Met plays. Like when Pete Rose went to fight the ump, when Cookie Rojas pushed the ump. Oh yeah. You're there for all these things.
Yeah, I'm there.
Does that, do you ever wonder if you're the reason?
I'm the common denominator on this. No,
What's your weirdest memory from being, from the organization, coaching, playing, any of it?
The weirdest thing that ever happened to me is I played for, I've been playing baseball since I can remember.
Right.
And I have never gotten a confrontation with an umpire.
Okay.
Except one time.
Really?
And I was coaching. We were in Vero Beach. We were playing the Dodgers. The Dodgers were still in Vero Beach at the time.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm coaching first base. And the umpire makes a really bad call, And it's spring training. Okay, I really wasn't,
right.
All right, spring training. But I told him, I said, how can you miss that? I mean, it's right there. And he got an attitude. He really got an attitude. So he looked at me and he said, that's enough. And I said, I'm just saying, it was so easy play to call that spring. Yeah, it's hot out here. And I stared at him, just looking at him. Didn't say the word, I was just looking at him. He goes down the right field line, I turn on, and I'm just looking at him. Just staring at him.
Yeah.
And he said, enough of that. You out of the game. He threw me out of the game.
Oh, wow. That's sacrilege. You don't throw Mookie Wilson out of a game.
I know. Of all this time, he threw it. It was hot. I was glad to get out of the game.
Thanks.
And so people say, of all the things that umpire can do was throw me out of the game in a spring training game. It's not like I was arguing.
Right.
But I was staring at him. I think a little guilt probably got into me. He just, he had enough of that.
But now, the only
Wilson, who singled homered and bounced to the pitcher, and that one got him right on the head, and a warning is being issued by Bob Davidson. Glavine says, why? Didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You went after Tom Glavine.
Yes, I did. I forgot about that.
Oh, should I not bring that up?
No, that's okay, because I apologized.
Oh, did you?
Because I was in the wrong. But at the time, I was frustrated because I wasn't playing. And the reasoning was not acceptable to me that I wasn't playing. And all of a sudden, this day decided to put me in the game to play for whatever reason. I don't know. And Tom Glavine threw a pitch. And Tom did throw it hard.
Yeah, but if you remember, you actually, your previous at bat, you hit a home run. So that's why I don't think you're in the wrong. You hit the home run.
He did. Tom, I know Tom.
So that was actually my follow-up. So you guys were okay after that?
Oh, yeah.
Is it weird to see, the first time, like you mentioned with Buckner holding the bat, the first time you saw Glavine after that, is it weird or?
No, because right after the game when, reporters were then in, and I told him, I said, I overreacted. He threw a ball. He actually hit me, but I was already frustrated because I wasn't playing. And, it's just one of those things, your emotions got the best of me at the time, which something never happens. I'm always in control. At least I think I'm always in control.
Right.
But it was out of frustration. It's just one of those things, But I forgot all about that.
Oh, sorry.
The only time I ever went after him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I did my research.
And I'm glad Bill Robinson grabbed me.
Yes, he tackled you.
Yeah, I'm glad he did because that wouldn't have been good.
I can't even picture it though. I bet you'd get the Glavine, you probably would have backed off. Cause you're
no. Once you go to a certain point, you can't back off.
Yeah, okay.
You gotta complete the task.
Right. But Glavine also egged you on too, because he started yelling at you after he threw the pitch.
Yeah, but
same thing. You were just staring at him. So what? You deserve to stare.
Because I was actually going to first base, and he's saying something. I don't know what he's saying to this day.
Doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
Right.
He's saying something.
That's it. And then he was still a Brave even when he played here, so we still don't like him. And you should have.
Yeah, he might have asked me was I all right. I don't know. Which is the weirdest thing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson. What?
This
is one of the weird things, man. Very out of character.
But that's one of the things I always enjoyed about your career. You were always there for the crazy stuff, and I don't know. To me, that just enhanced it. But very inspirational because you always gave it your all. You had the right attitude towards it. Even now, you're super nice with your time here. Again, thank you very much. This was a big thrill. And Tom and Pioneer Sports and Rich, I want to thank them for allowing us to come in here today and take up their time and their office while they're mingling back there doing nothing while we took their place over. So thank you very much. Mookie Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, this is great. Finally,
Contact Knockem Dead Comedy for your event today. What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy murder mystery show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what? I had an awesome time. All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraising